Hello students of class 8. In this video I am going to explain once again nitrogen fixation and the nitrogen cycle. So you must know about the what is actually nitrogen cycle. So nitrogen cycle is the circulation of inert nitrogen from atmosphere to abiotic and then biotic components and return back to the atmosphere. It takes place in a cyclic way or manner, so it is called nitrogen cycle, and it is a type of biogeochemical cycle. So first of all, you know that the nitrogen is present in atmosphere in about 78%. So but this nitrogen is um, but this nitrogen is not usable by the living organism directly. So first it needs to convert into its soluble form to for the absorption of the living form. So this conversion of nitrogen into nitrate form is known as nitrogen fixation. You must know about that nitrogen is an important constituent of the various nutrients among our body, that is especially for protein. It is a important constituent of protein, DNA, RNA, etc. You have heard these names: DNA, RNA, etc., and also protein. So protein is the meant for growth. So indirectly, without nitrogen, our growth can be restricted. So first, this atmospheric nitrogen should be converted into soluble form, that is nitrite or nitrates. So this conversion of nitrogen into nitrates is known as nitrogen fixation, so that so that plant can absorb from it soil. Okay, so this nitrogen fixation taken place in nature by three methods. You can see here: biological fixation by microorganisms, atmospheric fixation by lightning, and industrial fixation by various chemical processes in industry. That is so first we first explain biological fixation. So you have already know that some bacteria like blue green sorry some bacteria such as rhizobium, which lives in the nodules of some leguminous plants, which convert it into the directly atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate, and in this way the plants are able to absorb it. And then some blue green algae and also cyanobacteria are also able to fix this nitrogen. So this type of fixation, which is done by the biological or some animals, that is biological organism, so it is named as biological fixation. Second one, so the process of conversion of ammonia to nitrites and subsequently nitrites to nitrates is called nitrification. It is not a short process, it is a long process. First nitrogen is converted into ammonia, and that is known as ammonification, and again ammonia is converted into the nitrites, and then nitrites converted into nitrates, and so that these nitrates are available to the plants, and from plants the animals are eaten them. So in this way it transfer from atmosphere to the animals. Secondly, atmospheric fixation. It takes place because of atmospheric lightning in the strikes cause atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen to react with each other to form nitric acid, HNO3. This nitric acid comes down along with rainwater and forms nitrates on reacting with limestone, and in this way it is usable for the So in atmospheric nitrogen is combined with oxygen during lightning and converted into, and of course during raining it convert into nitric acid, that is HNO3. And when this nitric acid comes down along with the rainwater on the land and reacting with limestone, it converted into nitrites or nitrates. And in this way plants can absorb this. And some industrial fixation is carried out in various industrial processes. You have seen that some black color or white color, some material substances are always given to the crop plants so that it grow properly in the crop field. So this black or white colored are the in we can say it is a form of nitrates. So this nitric acid and ammonia are produced in industry chemically, that is man-made. These are converted into different fertilizer like urea, and this white or black color is known as urea. These fertilizer enrich the soil with the soluble form of nitrogen, and in this way industrially we can fix nitrogen into nitrates. Now nitrogen cycle. What happens to these nitrogen that is converted into nitrates? So what happens to the nitrogen once it is converted into forms that can be taken up and used to make nitrogen containing molecules? Plants generally take up nitrates and nitrites and convert them into amino acid, which are used to make proteins. So this process you can see nitrogen fixation. Atmospheric nitrogen is converted into nitrates by nitrifying bacteria in the soil. So those nitrifying bacteria is mostly Rhizobium leguminosarum. And then assimilation. What happens? The next step is nitrates are taken up by the plants through their roots to prepare amino acids, proteins. First amino acid is prepared, and then it's a you have heard in the fabric, fiber to fabric, in third chapter, your third chapter, what is monomer, polymer. So many amino acids combine to form protein, that is our main instituent of the body of the living organism, and nucleic acid. When plants are eaten by animals or humans, the nitrogen passes into their bodies through the food. So the nitrogen, in this way we eat plants, and through these plants we get nitrogen, and again proteins and some nucleic acid are formed in our body. This is called assimilation. What is actually assimilation? The formation of something important substances. Then ammonification. This nitrogen is added back by animals and plants to the environment. You know that after death of the plants and animals, what happens? Some decomposers decompose them. So when plants or animals die, these organic forms of nitrogen are also released into the soil. So certain bacteria present in the soil convert this organic nitrogen into ammonia, and this process is known as ammonification. After death of plant, suppose first plants absorb these nitrates, and in the form of nitrates it also travels to the animal. This nitrogen travels to the animal, and then again plants and animals dies. Then certain bacteria decompose them, and this nitrogen is again convert into ammonia. So this ammonia, or this conversion of nitrogen into ammonia, is called ammonification. Then what happens next? Denitrification. Some special bacteria present in the soil help to convert ammonia into inert nitrogen. So you have in the beginning I told you that the nitrogen cycle is the circulation of inert nitrogen from atmosphere to plants and then animals, and then soil, that is first soil and then plants, then animal, again soil, and from soil it goes back to the atmosphere. So it is the circulation between atmosphere, abiotic components, then biotic components, and again abiotic components, and then to the atmosphere, back to the atmosphere. So what happens here? The some special bacteria present in the soil help to convert ammonia into inert nitrogen. So this process is called denitrification, and those bacteria which help in the process of denitrification are called denitrifying bacteria, such as Pseudomonas and Clostridium bacteria are mainly involved in this process. Thus, the cycle is complete and free nitrogen again enters the nitrogen cycle. So you can see here nitrogen in atmosphere. So atmospheric nitrogen first fixed, fixed by any physical process or chemical process or by biological fixation. So it comes into the protoplast or of the green plant, that is absorbed by green plants, and then it goes from plants to the animals. And in another way you can say that when green plants dies and these animals dies, what happens next? Ammonification. So it convert into ammonia through process of ammonification, and ammonia is then converted into nitrates by some nitrifying bacteria, and again it releases uh, to the atmosphere by denitrification process. So it is the cyclic way. It is a first cycle through this goes back to the atmosphere, and in the second it directly in the process of nitrifying bacteria, it nitrification, that means by the physical process during lightning, it convert during lightning nitrification takes place, and atmosphere and industrial fixation takes place again, and then it converted into nitrates, that is nitrification, and again denitrified by certain bacteria and goes back to the atmosphere. So in this way 78% of the atmosphere again goes back to the atmosphere, and so the balance of gases are takes place in this manner, and this whole process takes place in a cyclic way. So it is known as nitrogen cycle. Okay, I hope you can understand now. So thank you.